Welcome to the Cinnabar. Now it's a beautiful fall day here in the high country, so I thought it was a good time to come out and talk about a really special Winchester here in the collection. And this is one I for a long time didn't think was real special. This one's been in the family, in my wife's family, for well longer than I have. This was one of her granddad's guns, and most of his collecting took place between the 1930s and the early 1960s. So this one's been around a while, but I've always considered it kind of a shame because if you look at the configuration of this gun, it just screams Winchester, or a gun that's been put together from parts and pieces. And I thought that for years, and even had debated about changing it back to what I considered would be more of a standard configuration. If it hadn't been for my membership in the Winchester Arms Collectors Association, I might just have done that and had gone on just believing this was kind of a parts gun, not worth very much, nothing special about it. But because I'm a member of the Winchester Arms Collectors Association, I saw an article just recently that changed all of that. So let's take a little closer look at this particular saddle ring carbine and how it came about that this one turns out to be a very rare and special Winchester. Now at first glance this looks like a fairly standard saddle ring carbine, but the big difference here is that we can see we've got an octagon rifle barrel on it. It's a 20-inch rifle barrel. It has a Circle P stamp on it right in front of the proof mark, which Winchester typically put on their mail order barrels that weren't installed at Winchester. We can see a dovetail right here for the tenon for a rifle type nose cap. So to me this was a put together gun. They actually put the band around this octagon barrel, which it isn't really made for. And then the other thing that was always heartbreaking to me is it's got a short forend, which is what they put on their short-barreled saddle ring carbines, what most of us collectors call a trapper. Winchester actually called them a baby carbine. So we've got this trapper forend that now somebody has opened it up to make it fit a octagon barrel, so it's useless to try to put it back to a trapper, find a 16-inch barrel to put on and make it look like it would look original. And that has been my plan. In fact, I actually found an original trapper forend that I was going to put on this gun someday when I came up with a barrel, or eventually maybe made one. So you can imagine my surprise when the fall 2022 Winchester Collector magazine came out from the Winchester Arms Collectors Association. And as I summoned through it, now you got to understand that I read every word of these collector magazines. It's almost like when I was a young man and the Field and Streams would come out with a Elmer Keith article in them. I'd just be giddy waiting to read them, and I feel the same way with these Winchester collector magazines. They're so wonderful, such great information in them. And I open one of the pages, and here's pictures of this exact same configuration. And the title of the article by my good friend, actually, Rob Kassab, on Model 92 Octagon Barrel Saddle Ring Carbines. And pictures of this exact configuration here, including even close-ups of the barrel, with a comparison of a 20-inch rifle barrel Octagon 92. So, you know, this was just shocking to me. And the article talks about how these guns were put together. There was only 6 of them known at this time in the 1920s for movie production. So this gun went from being in my eyes, a Winchester, or kind of a not very valuable or collectible piece, to being one of, at that time, only 6 of them known. Now mine's come to light, and I talked to Rob just yesterday and he said a couple more have come to light since he wrote this article, but still they're a very rare and collectible Winchester. Now maybe not everybody does, but I consider myself a fairly astute Winchester collector. But there's a good chance I would have never known about this special configuration Winchester that was in our collector if I didn't belong to the Winchester Arms Collectors Association. I mean, a lot of you, if you've watched this channel, know that I've sang the praises of the association on a lot of the episodes where we've shot Winchesters, and you know, I don't get a paid endorsement from the association or anything like that, but I just really believe in what they're doing. And if you're interested in Winchesters, there's really no reason not to join up. I mean, this collector magazine just in itself is such a high quality magazine, and there's so much information that I've gleaned from reading these. And if you're a member, you get to go back through 40 years worth of these things electronically. I mean, it's just unbelievable the amount of information you can get from one of these. So anyway, now that I know we've got this special Winchester that I've always kind of looked down on in the collection, we got to shoot it. So we'll put a few rounds through it just for the fun of it, because we can. Uh-oh, it's a little stiff loading. Okay. It shoots good. All right. What a great little old, well, saddle ring carbine. I wanted to call it a rifle, but it's kind of an in-betweener. Rifle barrel saddle ring carbine. Now when we think Winchesters, most of us think of these classic lever action rifles, like this first model 1873 set trigger gun. Of course we're going to have to shoot it. Wonderful, wonderful old rifles. Well, we're going to have trouble finding our brass today. It melts right into the snow. But with the Winchester Arms Collectors Association, we don't just focus on lever action rifles. There's something for everybody. So if you've got an interest in anything Winchester, there's just a myriad of information available from the association. Say you're into 22s or bench rest rifles, or both in the matter or the case of this Model 52 that come into the shop the other day. This one belonged to a fellow that was on the Marine Corps rifle team, and then the rest of his life was a bench rest competitive shooter. And boy, this thing is heavy. We'll try to shoot offhand, and this 20 power scope, I can't even find the targets out there. We'll just shoot that old pine tree up on the hill. Now say your interest is more in single shots or shotguns or both. Say this 1885 high wall takedown in 20 gauge. We love our 85s. We'll just blast a little snow. Oh, that's a great, great old rifle or shotgun or combination. Then one of my absolute favorites is these early semi-automatic Winchesters. This one's a 1907. Now if you think that detachable magazine semi-automatic rifles are a fairly recent invention, you'd be wrong. These have been around for a long time. This is a 120-year-old rifle. Oh, I love these. Or say you're more into conventional pump action shotguns, like everybody's sweetheart, the Model 42. We'll blast a little more snow. What a beautiful, beautiful little shotgun. Now, if you're more of a mil-serp kind of a guy, we got something for you with Winchesters as well. Check out this U.S. contract 1895 musket. Now there's some history with this one for sure. Oh, I love these 95s. Boy, it is a stiff one. Well, we're going to let that one go. I need to do a little work on that one apparently. When we're out of ammo or we're jammed like that, of course, we can fix bayonet and really fix them, huh? And then last but not least, for you bolt action fans, there's the venerable Model 70, like this Super Grade 270. Just a beautiful, beautiful rifle. We're going to take a little longer shot with this one. Oh, wow. What fun. Now some of these guns I've never shot before, and this has been kind of interesting, so I might stick around after this episode and do a little more shooting just for the fun of it. Now you don't have to own an extensive Winchester collection to benefit from being a member of the association. In fact, you don't have to own any. All you really need is an interest in Winchesters. Now, for those of us old timers that are used to getting our information in print, the magazine's a wonderful thing. We look forward to it every quarter when it comes out. But there's an even better deal if you want to become a member and you're used to getting your information electronically, and that's an e-membership. For only $35 a year, you get access to the magazines before they even come out in print, and then access to all 40 years of back issues. Now, I'm constantly, when any kind of a Winchester question comes up, going to the Winchester Arms Collectors Association website and looking up in the search function through all the back issues for whatever it is that's come up. Say you want to learn about model 1907 semi-automatic Winchesters. You just put in the search 1907 Winchester and you get all the information that's ever been written over the last 40 years. And it's extensive, and it's not just about lever action Winchesters. You know, I was looking through this issue, and you know, there's an article here by Gary and Jennifer Gohl, and Jennifer's on our board of directors for Winchester Arms Collectors Association, about collectible Winchester collectibles, and they're probably as knowledgeable as anybody in the world on Winchester collectibles, and write a lot of articles for the magazine. You know, we get articles written. Rob Cassab, who wrote the book on 1895s, he writes a lot of articles here. He and Brad Dunbar, who wrote that book, actually produce the Winchester Collector magazine. Jeff Abenschein, who's on the board of directors as well, he's written books on Winchester 22s and does a wonderful job. These are the same people that are on our forum on that Winchester Arms Collectors Association website too. So if you have questions about Winchesters, you can actually go to that forum and ask the people that literally wrote the book on that particular model. Even Bob Renenberg, who wrote the wonderful book on 1894s, is on the forum regularly. And they're very good about sharing information. You know, if any of you have ever been to some forums, a lot of people who have taken a lifetime learning information are very hesitant to give it out. But that's not the case there. And any of you who have searched anything for Winchester, you've probably seen answers come from Bert Hartman, our association historian. He's also on the board of directors, on the forum on almost a daily basis, answering all sorts of questions. So there's a lot of benefit to becoming a member of the association. We also work very closely with the Cody Firearms Museum in Cody, Wyoming. In fact, Bruce Sauer, who is the director of the Buffalo Bill Center of the West, which hosts the Cody Firearms Museum, or houses the Cody Firearms Museum, is on the board of directors for the Winchester Arms Collectors Association. And if you become a member of the association and become a member of the Cody Firearms Museum, you get 15 free factory record searches each year. And if you've ever tried to buy a Winchester that didn't letter, you know how valuable that would be. Just if you find one that isn't a letterable Winchester that's got something that's been altered on it, that pays for the membership, both of the association and the Cody Firearms Museum, many-fold. So if you're interested in Winchesters or vintage firearms in general, do yourself a favor and try out a membership in the Winchester Arms Collectors Association. Heck, you might even end up like me and find that some old junker in your collection turns out to be a rare and collectible Winchester. Now, I think if you see what kind of terrific information is available to you as a member of the association, you meet some of the terrific and helpful people that you'll meet along the way, you'll be hooked. If you really get into it, put on your bucket list to come out to the Winchester Collectors Association show in Cody, Wyoming. We have it every July. This year I think it's 14th, 15th, and 16th. Spend a day at the show, spend a day over at the Cody Firearms Museum. If you're a member of the association, you get in both for free. Now, you will make some memories, I guarantee. We never miss the show. Now, you can go to our website, winchestercollector.org, to sign up for a membership, or if you're currently a member, don't forget to renew your membership. We don't want you to miss the next issue of the Collector magazine. Or you can call our executive secretary, Heather Martin. She and her husband, Vinny, who's currently the president of the association, are back in Massachusetts, and she'll be happy to get you signed up. So thanks for joining us today. As always, we enjoyed having you. Until next time, happy trails from the Cinnabar.